You.
What was your favorite part in playing Black Butler?
My favorite part in Black Butler? Did you come in late?
Yeah.
It's okay, I'll answer it again. It's whenever that whole story arc with Angela, whenever they're trying to reunite him with his parents when like his parents are like, come be one with us and whatever, and he's like, I will never let go of my hatred. Like that whole monologue leading up to that was my favorite.
What was your favorite part of Oran High School Host Club?
My favorite part of Oran. My favorite part of Oran is whenever he comes back randomly as a mouse in that one episode. I think she's having like a crazy dream or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like there's some hallucination, and I just randomly come back as a mouse. Like I thought that was awesome. Like, are you sure that's me? Yeah, that's you. Sweet.
I'm just curious, but what's your personal opinion about the corset scene in Black Butler?
About the corset scene in Black Butler? I think it's really funny. I mean, I for one, I'm not typically that big of a fan, especially when it's like, you know, like a kid being sexualized or whatever. But I don't know why that one, to me, is just funny. It's, you know, I have such a double standard. If it were a girl, like a little girl that was that age that they were doing that too, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. No, that's too messed up. But because it's a boy, for some reason, I'm like, ha, that's funny. I have such a double standard. Because I really would be offended if that was a girl, but because it was a boy, it's just like, it's just funny.
Yeah. I have to say that Yue from Negima is one of my favorite characters. Could you do a line from her? You say something in her voice?
Funny story about Yue is, for some reason, in that voice, it's really hard for me to say library. And as you know, she's like the president of the library club.
Yeah.
So
it would always come out like library every time, so I had to re-record it every time. It would take me probably 3 or 4 days until I could say library. I had to like over-enunciate it. Library.
But it's interesting with certain characters you kind of develop speech impediments. Like just certain things are harder in certain voices. It's bizarre. Next.
What's your favorite line from Oran High School Host Club?
Favorite line? I honestly don't remember one line. I don't remember any of them. Because, you know, he was only in that one episode. So, like, and we don't get our scripts beforehand, so we don't get to, like, memorize them or anything. Like, the whole speech from Hell Girl is easy for me to do because I literally did that every single episode. And we re-recorded it every time. We didn't, like, use old sound files and come, you know, just, like, you know, just a copy and paste or anything. Like, we really did record it every single episode. So that's the only reason why I typically know that one. And the reason like certain lines, the only reason that I will remember them is if I make a mental note to remember them. But I don't have any specific lines that I remember from Oran. Sorry. Oh, wait! I take that back! Well, actually, it didn't actually make it in, but I remember whenever we were recording and he says who he is, and he just like yells out his name. The first time that I did it like super Japanese, and I was like, Shiramagoji! Like, and they're like, yeah, just dial it down a little bit. You can flip the R, but just not quite that intense. And so then it just came out like, I'm Shiramagoji! Just normal, but so that's, I guess, the only thing I remember saying is my name.
So do you have any memorable lines as when you're Ennis, by any chance?
No, I remember doing that whole writing the letter thing, but I don't remember anything that she said, unfortunately. If you can think of anything, if either one of you can think of anything I said, I'll totally say it in the voice, but I just can't personally remember. Next. You have an asked one.
Was there any part of Black Butler that you actually got sad at, or?
Oh yeah, literally any time that Ciel cried, I cried.
Aww.
Really, like I really loved him so much. Like, I mean, I know I said that, like, you know, sentimental wise, Maho and Natsuki were my favorite, but probably, I mean, for a character that has nothing to do with me, I felt really connected to him. Like, anytime that he was crying on screen, I would cry. And it was funny at the end, actually. Tatum and Ian were both like, oh, you're totally gonna cry, because I cried. These two dudes, huge dudes, by the way, they're really tall. And like, they're just like, you're totally gonna cry, I cried, man. And I was like, all right, I'm ready to cry. And then we did the last scene, and I actually felt at peace, just like Ciel. I was just like, this isn't sad, like it's kind of like, yeah, this is what I waited for this whole time. And then Tatum came in after we were done, and he was like, did you cry? I was like, no, dude. I'm not a wuss. Wait, did that answer your question?
What's the craziest fan moment you've ever had?
Craziest fan moment. You know, I've never really had anything that's that like crazy, like in an offensive way. I mean, I think I've had very memorable stuff happen. Like, one thing that happened recently whenever I was at Anime Boston, it was the first time that I ever had someone actually just sobbing when they met me. And it was actually, I mean, I didn't take offense to it. I thought it was really sweet. And I started crying because it was just such a genuine display of emotion that because what's even funnier about it to me is that her favorite role was Tamama. And, you know, I could understand, you know, the crying if it was something that was really sad or intense, like Ciel or Juliet or something. That's what I expected her to say, but she was like, I just really love Tamama. And I'm like, Tamama shouldn't make you cry. It should make you laugh. And it was actually a really cool moment for me because I had been doing a lot of conventions in a row. I think I had just done 4 conventions in a row. And when you do a lot, I don't know how people, I mean, Vic does so many conventions all the time. I don't know how people do it because you do get burnt out, you know what I mean? And you tend to forget why you're here, like why you're doing it. And it's for you guys, you know what I mean? And so I was kind of on the cusp of being burnt out, just being like, oh my God, I'm so sick of these stupid conventions. And then when she came through my mind, it was that happy, so elated to see me that she was crying. I was just like, I'm a dick. Like, you guys are awesome, and it's amazing that you care about anything that we do, and I am so grateful. And so it kind of reminded me that that's the mentality I need to have, not like, oh, stupid fans, you know what I mean? And not that I wasn't that way, but you know, it can get that way sometimes. You're just like, oh, I'm so sick of signing these autographs, you know, like that's so stupid. Really, like how? I mean, I'm so lucky that anyone would even want to have my autograph, you know? Like that's really, really lucky, and I need to always remind myself of that. So yeah, there you go.
All the conventions you do, are there any questions you just like in your mind say, oh God, not that one again?
Every Hetalia panel, oh my God. I don't know why, but that show just is like a magnet for rabid, tweeny, popper fans. And the tweens always, all the girls, they always want us to just say absurd things like, hail to Mother Russia and whatever. You know, which, when it's just a couple, you know, requests like that, it's fine. But for some reason, on an Italian panel, it is literally every question. Every one of them wants, like, it's like a dance monkey dance. Which I don't mind. I don't mind singing and doing a line here or there or whatever. But I like to have some intelligent questions in between, you know, to kind of buffer it. But when every single question is dance monkey dance, it's too much for me. I can't handle it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and Brina, there's 10 minutes left to, 10 minutes left of this panel.
Oh, okay, sweet. So I'll probably 2 or 3 questions.
What was your favorite moment with being Chopper?
Favorite moment with being Chopper? Definitely his origin story. Oh my God, I cried like a baby. What's funny is that Chopper's origin story is so desperately sad. And I heard that there was a movie made of it over in Japan, and I really, really, really hope we dub it. Someone told me, it was the One Piece podcast guys. I don't know if you guys listen to the One Piece podcast. I love those guys. But they were telling me that the director was saying the reason that he made the Chopper origin story movie was because he wanted to make grown men cry. But what's funny about it is that, especially at the end when the cherry blossoms are coming down and he's just wailing like crazy crying, I was crying and laughing at the same time because it is so sad, but it's also ridiculous. I mean, if you like kind of step away from it for a second, it's like, here's this adorable reindeer crying about these cherry blossoms, like, and not just crying, but like screaming, wailing, over the top, ridiculous crying. So, yeah, it's like I didn't really know exactly how to feel about it. It's like I felt bad for laughing, but I still felt for him. You know, I still was crying at the same time. But it's just, I think it's what I like about it is that it's, as sad as it is, it's still kind of funny. Next, you haven't asked me for a while.
All right. Well, I was wondering. My friend's son is in school today, and he loves he's the same age as the kids, and he loves the Black Butler. I don't know whether to tell him. Do you get a reaction when they find out that both voices are a woman? Because I think he'll be disappointed. So I'd probably tell him that they were sitting here just like in the book.
Yeah.
The one on one side, and the guy was there. He was real tall. And
well, I mean, the butler is totally a dude.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's just me. I'm the only chick.
You don't do both voices.
No. Are you kidding me? Yeah, right. I'm Michael Taylor. Yeah.
Oh, what's your favorite song that you performed as Maho? And could we get a little bit of it?
Sure. My favorite song is definitely Moon on the Water, which goes a little something like... sways gently in the night of one fine day.
Woo! Nice!
And how much time? Oh, we still got time. One question.
I was going to say, I have one last question. Are you guys currently recording season 2 of Black Butler?
Yes, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to say that.
Who's playing Alice?
I cannot say that.
Damn.
But you will be so happy because I was so happy whenever I found out who it was. You'll be really happy with the cast.
Okay.
It's awesome.
So I was wondering if
Other questions?
I was going to ask.
Who's voicing Clyde for the second season?
Can't tell you.
She can't tell us any of the cast. It sucks.
What do you think about the character Eloise?
I love the differences between the two. I just like his contrast to Ciel, and I think he makes Ciel look even more badass because he is so prissy and like. I mean, he dresses like a girl. Oh, what I really love is whenever he first meets him, and like he's like, I can't believe you're dressed like a girl. That's just pathetic. But yeah, no, I think it's really cool, and I'm so nervous that I'm gonna let it slip, like who's playing whom. But you'll be very happy with the casting, I promise. Especially with, well, all of them. All of the new ones are awesome. They're so good. They're so good. They're so good.
It's too bad Michael couldn't be here, huh?
Tatum?
Yeah.
Actually, I love doing Black Butler panels with Tatum because he, basically all I have to do on the panel, he loves doing the dance monkey dance stuff. I hate it. So people will ask him to like tie their shoes, teach them how to dance, all that kind of stuff. And all I have to do is sit here and go, that is in order. It's awesome. It's so awesome. I love it. So I kind of wish he was here. But I don't know. I have 5 minutes. Did you haven't asked me?
Who is your all-time favorite, like co-star in any of the shows you've been?
Favorite co-star?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough. I have to say I really like working opposite Tatum a lot because I do know his voice so